Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video, I will show you how to multiply matrices. So let me first start by telling you one product is defined for two matrices A and B. The product AB is defined if the number of columns of A is the same as the number of rows of B. Let's illustrate this with the following examples. Okay, so we have here three matrices A, and the order for A is 2 by 2. Remember, the order or the dimension is the number of rows. In this case, A have 2 rows and have 2 columns. So that's 2 by 2. For B, it have 2 rows and 3 columns. So the order will be 2 by 3. And for C, it have 3 rows and 2 columns. So the order will be 3 by 2. So we're looking for this product A and B. Is it defined or not? As we said, A have order of 2 by 2 and B have order of 2 by 3. The condition is that the number of columns of A should be the same as the number of rows of B. And this essentially means that these two inner numbers here should be the same. In this case, since both are the same, then this is defined. And now, what is the order of the product? What would be the dimension of the product? The dimension will be the number of rows of A times the number of columns of B, or in other words, you can take the outer numbers. So here we have 2 and here we have 3. So this is 2 by 3. We look at the second case. The second case, B, the dimension for the order is 2 by 3 and A is 2 by 2. Again, if we are looking at the inner numbers here, they are not equal, so this is not defining the product. And this illustrates important point about matrices. So for matrices, it's not a must that both product A times B and B times A are defined. It's possible that one is defined, the other is not defined. Okay, if we look at the last case, we have B. So B, the order is 2 by 3. And for C, it's 3 by 2. Again, here the inner numbers are equal, so the product is defined, and the order or the dimension, the result, you can look at the outer numbers. So this will be 2 by 2. So this is the condition that you need. You need to make sure that the number of columns for the matrix on the left is equal to the number of rows for the matrix on the right. Or if you are writing the order of the two matrices next to each other, you need to make sure that the inner numbers are the same. Okay, now let's go now to the product. Let's start with a very simple case. So let's say you have matrix 1, 2, and 3, and V is 2, 1, and 0. So A have an order of 1 by 3. We have 1 row and 3 columns. B have a dimension or order of 3 by 1. Have 3 rows and 1 column. We can see that the inner numbers here is equal, so the product is defined. If I'm trying to calculate A times B, now what's the result? We can see that by looking at the outer numbers here, that our result actually will be a 1 by 1 matrix. So we just have one element in the row. And how to get that? You multiply the row by the column, element by element, and you add this. So take the first element in the row times the first element in the column. So you'll have 1 times 2 plus the second element in the row times the second element in the column. So it will be 2 times 1. Then the third element in the row times the third element in the column. So you can see we are taking each element, multiplying it with the corresponding element in the column, and we are adding. If you add 1 times 2, that is 2, and plus 2 times 1, that's another 2. These two terms give us 4. 3 times 0, that's 0. So we'll end up with 4. So this is the result of multiplying these two matrices, the row matrix and the column matrix. So if you understand how to do this, essentially multiplying other matrices of different size will be similar to this. It will be taking 1 row at a time times 1 column at a time. And that will give you 1 element. And you will again take a row with a column to get another element, as we shall illustrate in the next example. So the next example, let's take now matrix 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 5, 4, 6, 1. And B is 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. The size for the matrix A, or the order of matrix A, is 3 by 3. and the order for matrix B is 3 by 2. Again, we can see that in our numbers here equal, so we can compute the multiplication of A and B. What about the size of the result? Now, the size of the result, we can get it from the outer numbers. So we'll have 3 rows and 2 columns. We will have 6 elements. Each element will be computed by multiplying a row with a column. Okay, so for example, if you want to get the element in the second row and the first column in the result, then you're gonna take the second row of A and you multiply it with the first column of B. So let's work out this. So let's take the element in the first row and the first column of the product. To get it, we need to multiply the first row with the first column. So first row with the first column, we multiply element by element and we add. So first element times first element, 1 times 2 plus second element times the second element plus third element times the third element. So this gives the element in the first row and the first column. If we want to get the element in the first row and second column, then we will need to multiply the first row from A times the second column. So always look at the position of the element that you are trying to get. The row for that element will tell you which row you need to take from A, and the column of that element will tell you which column you need to take from B. So to get the element in the first row and second column, you need to take the first row in A and multiply it by the second column of B. And again, we'll multiply element by element and we'll add. So first element, 1 times first element, which is 1 over. Yeah. Second element times the second element, 2 times 2. Third element times the third element, 3 times 3. So we get all the element in the first row. Now let's go to the second row. To get the element in the second row and the first column, again, based on the position, this is the second row and first column. So I need to take the second row of A and multiply it with the first column of B. Again, element by element, and we are added. So first element times first element, 1 times 2 plus second element times second element, 0 times 3 plus third element times third element, 5 times 4. And then we can go to the next one, which is in the second row and second column. So that means we need to multiply the second row from A times the second column from B. So first element times first element, 1 times 1 plus second element times second element, so 0 times 2 plus third element times third element, 5 times 3. So we finish with the second row. Now we move to the third row. So to get the element in the third row, we'll be using the third row in A. And since this is in the first column, so this element here is on the third row and first column. So I'll multiply the third row of A times the first column of B. Again, element by element, and we add 4 times 2 plus second element times second element, 6 times 3 plus third element times third element, 1 times 4. Now the last element, which is in the third row and the second column. So I'll take again the third row of A times the second column of B. Again, element by element, and we're adding. So 4 times 1 plus 6 times 2 plus third element times third element, 1 times 3. So now it's just a matter of multiplying and adding to get the result. So let's start with this one. 1 times 2, that is 2, plus 2 times 3, that is 6. And 3 times 4, that's 12. Now we're adding 2 plus 6, that is 8, plus 12, that gives us 20. Let's move to the element in the first row and second column. Again, 1 times 1, 1, and 2 times 2, that is 4, and 3 times 3, that is 9. We add these, 1 plus 4, that is 5. You add to it 9, that gives you 14. Let's move to the element in the second row and first column. Again, multiply 1 times 2, that is 2, and 0 times 3, 0. And 5 times 4, that is 20. So we're adding 2 plus 0 plus 20, that gives you 22. Next, we'll take the element in the second row and second column. So 1 times 1, 1, 0 times 2, 0. and 5 times 3, that is 15. We are adding these. 1 plus 0 plus 15 give us 16. Now let's move to the third row. 4 times 2, 8, plus 6 times 3, that is 18, and 1 times 4. So 8 plus 18, that give us 26, plus 4 give us 30. And last element, 4 times 1, 4, 6 times 2, 12, 1 times 3, 3. 4 and 12, 16, and 3 give us 19. And this is the product. So it's a very systematic. You are always taking a row and multiplying it with a column. And how to decide the row and column? You just look at the position of the element that you're trying to find out. So if it is in the first row and second column, you're going to take the first row from A and multiply it with the second column of B. Multiplication is easy. You're multiplying element by element, first element times first element, second element times second element, and you're adding these. So that's it for matrix multiplication. If you find this video useful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel and turn notification on so that you get notified about new content. Thank you for watching.